Fun.
I was actually thinking about getting a new computer too because my current one groans and creaks.
How old is it?
It's actually only a year old, but it's an economy computer. I thought I was going to be doing video stuff.
Yeah, you gotta get the snazzier version. I feel like my computers die every 4 years. They're just like, no.
Well, you have laptops, so by carrying it around, I'm sure. It's actually only a year old, but it's an economy computer. There's our video stream.
We're looking at ourselves on a delay.
Yeah. We should do a welcome back just in case that was the first time. So if you're just joining us now, welcome.
Hi.
This is the Screenwriting Show. I'm Matt.
I'm Rose.
And we're here to look at some screenwriting. So Rose, what do you feel like doing? Do you feel like reading a script? Do you feel like browsing through Reddit?
Well, you have some scripts that were sent to you from viewers. Do you want to start with one of those, maybe?
Well, if you insist. All right, the first one is called The Morning Show. And let's see. The Morning Show, pilot, written by Jones Rowe.
I like that name.
You reckon that's a real name?
I don't know. It sounds like like the name of a show. It's like a spy or something named Jones Rowe.
All right, how do we want to do this? Do we want to just read through all of it, or stop and give metadata of what we're actually looking for?
It's only 4 pages long.
Yeah.
So what is this, just the beginning of the pilot?
I believe it's just a cold open.
Okay. Yeah, whatever you think. We can just see how much we get through.
Interior. The Morning Show. Newsroom. Day. The newsroom of a morning news show. Angle on. A clock reads 5 o'clock a.m. The camera travels through groups of various producers, writers, you name it, busy typing away at computers and conversing with one another. Busy, exciting feel to it. And I was thinking maybe we could switch off scene descriptions because my voice gets monotonous.
Sure. We push past everyone and reach the office doors just in time to see Aubrey Collins, male, 20s, a little person that could be related to Steve Urkel, burst through them.
Hey everybody, today's gonna be a great day. Want to know why?
Zoom out, nobody cares.
Because every day is a great day. Here at the Morning Show, we've pledged our lives to making sure that everyone here in Burns, Arizona is up to date on everything that goes around town. We're basically like the Batman of news. Or like a neighborhood watch.
B-roll. He pushes his way through the crowd, saying his hellos to his generally uninterested coworkers.
At one point, he trips on his own feet and falls, spilling his coffee everywhere. Everyone just keeps walking past. It's fine. Don't send help. I didn't even fall that far anyways.
Aubrey's talking head, dimly lit office.
Aubrey's sitting at a desk, coffee stains on his shirt. Hi. Hello. My name's Aubrey Collins, and I'm an assistant to the executive producer here at The Morning Show. I've been here for a few years now, so it's a lot of fun. Keeps me on my feet.
He holds up his ID. Awkward photo.
I think what I love most is our working environment. I like to think of us all as a family.
B-roll. Devon Matthews, 30s, brassy, power walks into the hallway. A younger pregnant lady, Brittany, tries to keep up. Hey Devon, hi. So I sent you an evite last week and I never heard.
Fuck off, Brittany. I'm not going to kid's fucking baby shower. She speeds off, leaving Brittany confused. We're all very supportive of each other. Very warm. I mean, sure, sometimes there's a little drama.
B-roll. A female employee flips on the light in a supply closet. She bursts into tears and runs off. A male employee rushes out after her, apologizing as he zips up his pants.
Crucial difference. And sometimes you feel like you've had enough. You just want to go home forever.
B-roll. An older cameraman on a news set throws off his headset and storms off. But he trips on cords lying around on his way and eats the floor.
Aubrey's talking head, dimly lit office. But at the end of the day, we're family. And that's what's really important.
A random employee walks in. He flips on the light. He looks annoyed when he sees Aubrey. Really? Again? You're really going to stop breaking into random offices to talk to yourself?
But You saw nothing.
He lowers himself slowly behind the desk.
Okay. What is your immediate emotional reaction to what you just experienced?
It just seems a little over the top, but not in a super funny way. Like I was just saying, I like really weird humor, like David Wayne stuff, where it's really unrealistic and heightened.
Mm-hmm.
But that didn't really make me laugh that much. I mean, it's not terrible. It's clear what's going on, but
So Aubrey is a little person, so that means what was previously called a dwarf or midget.
yeah, it looks like Urkel. So I'm assuming they would cast that guy from Bad Santa. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
It's the only person I can think of who meets this description. I don't know. I guess the tone of the show isn't super clear to me. It seems like really like kind of slapsticky, like a lot of physical humor.
Well, what do we know about Aubrey? And let's take a look through.
He loves his job. He's super enthusiastic.
That seems to be his chief characteristic.
Yeah.
All right, going through Hater Vision. I love the redundant logline / scene description here.
The newsroom of a morning news show. Yeah, I can't tell if that's on purpose or not, but it's kind of funny if it is on purpose.
Yeah.
I like it.
Angle on is camera description. There's no hard fast rule against it, but it's not always the best look because some people really hate it.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you could just as easily say a clock reads 5 a.m. without the angle on, and it wouldn't be any different.
All right. I feel like this character description is politically correct past the point of description.
Of Aubrey?
Yeah.
Male, 20s, a little person that could be related to Steve Urkel.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, basically, he's not going to say black. We know what Steve Urkel looks like. And, I mean, little person is the going term, I guess. That's PC these days. I don't think you're supposed to say anything else.
Right, but you might want to say, short of stature, regal posture.
Mm-hmm.
He's waist high to most of his coworkers, but he doesn't care. He walks like a king.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a way of driving home the image a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're just joining us, we're looking at a script about a newsroom called The Morning Show. And thanks for missing the Super Bowl for this.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was a great ordeal. Yeah, I feel sad for our legions of fans who were torn between watching this unscheduled broadcast or seeing Peyton Manning try and scratch out another win.
I'm sure people are drinking beer and eating wings while watching the super exciting writing show.
Hey, Standard Issue, how you doing?
Hey.
We never talk. Tell me something about you that I don't know. But Standard Issue points out that Vertically Challenged is the jokey spin on the political correctness.
Yeah, I like that.
But
there
are people
could just
who are,
be short.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a difference between a little person, which is like an actual.
There's
what's
actually
the definition?
a cutoff. I think it's under 410.
Yeah.
So we got this character trait, so that's great. I like that we're establishing a character. Nobody cares, so it's establishing the office. I'm on board with that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who he's talking to.
When he says, because everybody is a great.
No. Because he's got this voiceover, and then he's looking at camera. But then they do a real meta joke at the end where the employee says, who are you looking at? You saw nothing.
Yeah. I mean, they do talking heads and voiceover. And they break that fourth wall and do that meta joke at the end.
This is kind of a joke. We're basically like the Batman of News or Neighborhood Watch, just because Neighborhood Watch is a de-escalation of Batman.
Yeah, I think that's kind of funny.
Do you?
I mean, it wasn't like laugh out loud like I'm dying, ROFL, but...
Given that that's the best joke in half a page,
yeah,
I'm skeptical. Top 10 Trivia says he uses camera angles a lot. And Tarantino said he did that on Reservoir Dogs, but will never do it again.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like when Tarantino started out, camera angles were more in vogue.
Okay.
And, now, gosh, 20 years later? Don't check that, I don't want to know.
Things have changed.
And we don't use them as much. So it's kind of an acquired taste. It'd be like serving someone sea urchin. It's not for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So I like it's fine. Don't send help. I didn't fall that far anyways, because that's implying that my initial impression of him as an African American small person, and I hate the term African American, but it's politically correct.
Yeah.
Um,
I didn't fall that far anyways. Yeah, the jokes just are like, yeah, I see that's a joke, but not really hit. I just think it's very slapsticky, but not funny. That's basically what I said
yeah.
before.
Also, I
Like,
don't get the relationships for these characters. For example, is Devon Matthews the executive producer he works for, or just some random goon who works in the office?
yeah. I mean, it's the way he's written, I feel like he has a position of authority, but yeah, it doesn't clarify it.
Okay, now we get a juxtaposition joke. We're all very supportive of each other, very warm. I mean, sure, sometimes there's a little drama. And we cut from him saying there's a little drama to something that is literally a little drama.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like you'd either want to underplay it, like, hey, Rose, I think you're sitting on my pencil. Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
As very silly drama. Or, I don't know, I'm just not engaging with his material very much.
Me either.
Or if it was a little drama and then it's big drama, like a screaming match or, someone throwing a coffee pot at someone.
Right, like somebody breaking things. I feel like that's just too in the middle. I mean, that is like weird and inappropriate and like shouldn't be happening in the office, but yeah, it needs to be like one extreme or the other, I feel like.
And you really got to stop breaking into random offices to talk to yourself. I mean, it's a meta joke.
It's kind of like that last season of The Office where they're like, this really is a documentary and we're talking to the crew now.
But he's talking to himself, so it's implying that he's a little mentally unwell.
Yeah.
As a question, would I read on if I didn't have to? No, I would not read on if I didn't have to.
Yeah, me either.
And why not? Like, what would change that for you?
I just don't feel very invested in the characters. I don't want to really know what they're going to do next because it hasn't really entertained me thus far as much as I would like.
Yeah. Ultimately, a cold open is a way of communicating your style of humor.
Mm-hmm.
Cold open might begin with something completely absurd, or some frat boy sitting around, saying some really dirty stuff about a girl walking by, or a very dark joke, or a very visual joke,
Mm-hmm.
and that's sort of selling the humor of the series. And this makes me not see the humor.
Yeah. Yeah, you're totally right because you don't really need to worry about setting up the story or, plot or all that. It's just a very simple like way to get some jokes out there and show you the qualities of the characters, and I feel like didn't really do that effectively.
Let's take a look at the log line just for funsies.
Yeah.
Set in the fictional town of Burns, Arizona, the morning show follows Aubrey Collins, a driven, aspiring producer with big dreams who must navigate the everyday antics of being an assistant at a morning news show.
I mean, that's basically what we saw so far.
I have a problem with this.
Uh-huh.
I was reading through a bunch of my old pilots, and I'm not saying I got much better at it as time went on, but I have a tendency to write a pilot where it's the guy with an interesting job.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm interested in the job, because I'm weird, I do more time establishing the specifics of how a job will work. How does a union contractor work?
Right. As opposed to the characters.
As opposed to the characters.
Yeah.
And this guy's just really up. And it's hard to make that play because I don't really see a relationship with another character.
Mm-hmm. I mean, he just seems like one of those eternal optimists who's, I mean, clearly his job sucks from what we've seen so far. So I guess they're trying to just have the humor be like, nothing bothers this guy. And like he could just make the situation worse and worse, and his reaction just never is affected by it.
Yeah, I'd like to see either the things that are worse emotionally heightened or his happiness emotionally heightened.
Right.
Or see some sort of philosophical justification for why he's like this.
Yeah.
And see that played out in a different way.
Yeah, I am curious if they would get to that, or if they're just going to be like, this is Aubrey being Aubrey.
Let's move on.
Should we read Suicide Note?
I think we have to.
We got to. I'm intrigued.
Why are you intrigued?
I mean, it's just that title is so ominous.
You want to know what a failing writer decides to kill himself, but his suicide note turns out to be his magnum opus. Should he carry through with his plan, or live with the genius piece of writing that no one will ever see? A friend shot this. I'm happy with the interpretation, and it was interesting to see what he got out of it. I'd love feedback and criticism from the outside world, including, hopefully, some of the professionals, or us. Whoever you are, I hope you enjoy. Some things I'd love to hear from you. Is it clear what's happening? What happening?
Hmm.
Is it funny? I know it's pretty dark, but does this read as humorous? All right.
I like dark humor. Let's see if it is successful.
I'll tell you, my first thought here is his suicide note turns out to be his magnum opus. Should he carry through with his plan or live with a piece of genius writing no one will see?
Well, they're gonna see it. He's just not gonna get to have the benefits of people enjoying it.
So that's what you unpack from that. That
Yeah. So that logline might need to be tweaked because that doesn't really make sense.
because
If you
the
think
irony.
about it.
So you're saying that the irony of this it might be that it's only a valuable piece if it's actually a suicide note. Because I could write a suicide note, frame it as prose, and submit it to.
Right.
All right. First thing I notice is doesn't look like Final Draft. Might be, but the font weight is a little light.
Do we have some Celtics on our hands?
I don't know why Celtics is so popular.
I mean, the reason I had it first was just because it was free.
No, this might be Final Draft. It's just the lighter one. A lot of people use Final Draft with Courier Prime, which is a font created by John August, which is really cool. Worth downloading.
Cool.
Interior, apartment, day. Clutter everywhere. Narrow walkways lead through the boxes, books, trash, etc.
All the windows are covered, making everything a dark shade of gray-blue.
A trash can overflows with crumpled paper and empty bottles of cheap booze.
Rick, 20s, is passed out on his desk, slumped over a typewriter. A laptop is buried under still more books and paper.
A doorbell buzzes and startles Rick awake.
He blinks his eyes into focus, then heaves himself up towards the door.
The lock clicks open.
Pizza delivery man. I've got a large mushroom and onion for Tabitha.
No, that's upstairs. 201.
Oh, whoops.
The door swings shut. Rick sighs his way back to the desk, slumps into the chair. He stares at the page half written in the typewriter.
He pulls the page out and reads over it. Each line causes more disgust in Rick than the last, until he finally crumples it up and throws it in with the rest.
He breathes his exasperation. In an effort to clear his mind, he sorts through the pile of newish mail, junk, bill.
A letter from White Stallion Publishing. He rips the envelope open and eagerly skims the letter.
It doesn't take too long. Words and phrases like, however, unfortunately, yada yada yada.
Devastated, the letter slips from his hands. Tears well up in his eyes. He looks around at the ruin that is his life.
There's a pile of trash. An unfinished manuscript, a payment overdue statement. There's a bottle of sleeping pills.
The pills. He grabs them.
The tub fills with warm water. There's a razor on the edge.
Rick fills a glass with water and tips the whole bottle of pills into his hand.
He really teleported from the living room to his bathroom.
Yeah.
With is it alacrity or clarity? If anyone knows, tell me. I've only seen it read.
He takes a huge gulp of water, and as he raises the fistful of pills to his mouth, he spots his typewriter.
Is he in the bathroom?
Maybe it just cuts, like he's in his room, and then it just cuts to a few seconds later, and he has started the bathtub, but he's back in his room.
Okay, so he's writing this letter. All right, for starters, this is under slug-lined.
Yeah, it's under slug-lined, and I think there's too much description. I mean, look how long this is going on.
So he scribbles out the goodbye, begins writing White Stallion. He picks up the photo. He holds a suicide note. And we finally get outside Rick's apartment.
Rick nearly walks into the stumbling junkie that lives next door, who barely notices. It jars Rick out of his focus just long enough to watch the junkie disappear into his apartment.
I'm not seeing anything funny here yet.
No. But maybe the letter has some good jokes in it. We'll see.
So we get to... I don't think that the letter is going to have good jokes.
It's a suicide note. We'll see. Exterior Audrey's house day. Oh, we have another Audrey. That's a popular name.
Was there an Audrey in the? Oh, no, that was an Aubrey.
Oh, Aubrey. Yeah.
So Aubrey is even prettier in person. She answers the door with a smile, which disappears as soon as she sees Rick.
Oh, Rick.
Audrey, hi.
Hi, Rick. Did you call?
No, I know. Listen, Audrey.
Rick, this isn't a good time. Why don't you call me tomorrow or something? I got it.
I can't. Can I inside? I need your advice. Can we talk about inside? I mean, can we talk inside?
What? No, Rick, really. I have people over. You should have texted at least or something. Come on.
That's okay. I can wait. It's okay. I just need to, get this. This note I wrote is really important.
Rick, God, no. Not another note. I thought this was done.
Oh no, it's not like that. It's not for you.
Audrey sees the mix of desperation and excitement on Rick's face. With a sigh of pained look, she steps aside.
If anyone playing along with us at home has any thoughts, feel free to ping him in. We won't see him until 30 seconds later, owing to the latency of this, but
Yeah.
please.
Fine, I just wait on the couch or something.
Okay, so more shit happens.
I feel like that's way too much back and forth. Like we could have gotten all that information out in a few lines.
Yeah, it could be something like, just Rick, sit here, please.
Mm-hmm.
Rick sits there awkwardly as her friends sit down to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Cut to the last of the friends leaves.
Yeah.
I didn't come here to mess up your thing. I just, things haven't. I finally wrote something. I think it's worth something.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it's not like a novel or anything.
Uh-huh.
This is some really phenomenal dialogue for Audrey.
Rick wrings his hands, looking around. Maybe the right words are somewhere in the room.
Well, okay. I'm going to tell you what it is, but the thing is, I don't know how to get it out there,
No, Rick, I don't know.
No, yeah, it's
so much back and forth of the same reiterating the same.
It's very mumblecore.
Yeah.
Like, here's your standard mumblecore script. Like, honey, I just heard from Dr. Fargo, and he said, did you get a procedure?
Yeah.
Did you, hit me back.
Yeah, I got the procedure, and it was expensive.
Honey, I'm not into the cost. I mean, I just think that it was our baby, and
it's my body.
So, and
yeah,
it's one of those things that gets brought to life by the charismatic performances of rather low-key actors doing unburnished performances.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say you probably don't need to write it. Like, you could tell the director, like, I'm sort of thinking he's like a Michael stereotype who, like, kind of isn't sure of himself. Like, I don't think you need to write that in because then the actor has this need to.
More stuff is going on with Rick and Audrey, and it takes till about page 8 to get the inevitable conclusion. Because what we really want is Audrey's opinion on it. Because right now, Fuck You, amusing name, says Clerks and Dazed are mumblecore. They might be proto-mumblecore. They certainly exist before the label. But they're definitely lo-fi indie films that have a character focus. So
Clerks and Dazed. Yeah.
Explain your work. I'd like to hear more on this thesis. Are Clerks and Dazed mumblecore? America, I know you're dying to hear the answer. You decide.
But were they written that way, or were they just executed that way? You know what I mean? Like, if you read the script.
I feel like Clerks really trades on some sharp dialogue.
Yeah. I haven't seen it in such a long time, I can't even say.
All right, so what I'm bored with here is we've taken a bunch of stuff. We're on 9 pages, right? And there's very little information. Like, what we really need is Audrey's opinion.
Yeah, I'm curious about her reaction. Because she seems pretty over it, and I'm assuming this is her ex-boyfriend, and this is, like, repeatedly happened before. So today is the day where something different happens, and I want to see it happen.
Fuck You says, no, they are, in regards to Clerks and Dazed or mumblecore. All right, what is your definition of mumblecore? Fuck You. Slackers, I believe, invented the genre.
Slackers, I would agree, is very, but I don't.
Well, then you're getting into an argument of, is Jaws a tentpole movie? Was Ben-Hur a tentpole, a summer tentpole movie? Is MC5 punk? Can you predate the label and still be co-opted into it?
Okay, wait, who's Mike? Who's this character that just got introduced?
No. I like how that we're so kind of low energy here that you were actually pleasantly surprised to see
I'm
another
like,
name.
yes!
It's like, check it out. This Mike guy looks like an interesting guy. Let's follow his story.
Mike sounds sassy. Okay,
His neighbor spins around, clearly scared right out of his skin. He stares at Rick.
So Rick's back home?
Hi, it's Mike, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Rick looks around. He clearly hasn't thought any further
So
than this.
we've been neighbors for a while now, and I was just thinking that we should get to know each other.
Mike looks at Rick suspiciously.
VMKU True says, feels really dragged out. If I was reading this, I wouldn't continue past page 4.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I'm feeling now. But now I'm curious if anything interesting is going to happen, so I kind of want to get to it.
So Rick
We're almost
is
at the end.
talking to Mike, and he's lying about how well his life is going.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sounds like some fucking good time, man. I like Mike simply because he sounds different than Rick.
Yeah.
So on the plus side, there is some differentiation in the dialogue.
Yeah, definitely.
He's got more of a hard edge. And he goes to Mike, and he gets some, looks like, drugs? Yeah, syringe and coffee table. Still nothing. Finally, all bags are empty. He wonders if he's been pumping heroin into a dead man. Rick drops the syringe, his stillness hangs. Okay, I feel...
Wait, why did he just kill his neighbor?
I'm sure the answer is in there. I'm just not terribly interested.
Well, it doesn't look like we ever got to read the suicide note, unless I missed it. And that was like what, based on the logline, that's what I was looking forward to.
Okay, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, it was just too dragged out. We lost interest. Maybe something interesting. I mean, that just came out of left field to me, the whole neighbor situation.
The problem with this, well, the neighbor situation came out of left field. Yeah. Yeah.
But not in a good way, like, cool, I didn't see that coming, just in like a why the hell did that just go down way.
I'll tell you my big issue with a script like this,
Mm-hmm.
is it punishes us for paying attention. Because in reading it out loud, we're giving more attention to each individual line than your average reader is going to.
Mm-hmm.
And readers love skimming. I love skimming if I can.
Yeah.
And the only reason I don't is because either people pay me to read carefully, as I do for my clients on thestorycoach.net, or if it's an entertaining read.
Right.
Or a challenging read, which I hate, because if a script is hard to figure out,
yeah,
try writing coverage on it.
Yeah.
But the problem with the current draft is there's a lot of stuff like this, which punishes me for paying attention.
Because they're details you don't need to know and could be simplified a lot.
And maybe I do. Maybe it could well be that in the next page, everything would have made crystal clear, brilliant sense.
Mm-hmm.
But my memory isn't that good.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. It's just overwhelming.
I am struggling to keep this all in my brain. There's a theory that says we have a very small tray for information.
Mm-hmm.
They say that the sweet spot for sentences that you speak is somewhere between 7 to 15 words.
Yeah, that seems right.
And if you go over that, you're starting a sentence that people will forget the beginning of.
Yeah.
And all right, here's a reminder from the beginning. He has a typewriter. Why? He explicitly has a laptop.
Yeah.
Would any of you guys out there, and I'm sure our audience is all writers, write on a typewriter if you didn't have to?
I mean, I have friends who have typewriters solely for decorative purposes because they're hipsters.
I have a shit ton of typewriters. I love typewriters.
Yeah.
I'm hip as fuck.
But you've never typed anything on them, but I assume.
I've tried. I remember when I was a kid, I had this red IBM, my mom had a red IBM Selectric typewriter.
Those are cool.
And, they were the kind that had the autocorrect and really worked well.
Mm-hmm.
They were electronic. There's two types of typewriters, the ones you got to hit the key really hard, and the ones that have a little round wheel with a lot of letters on. And they're much easier to use. And I remember using it and hating it. I remember thinking, wouldn't it be great if there was something that you could almost cut and paste
Mm-hmm.
or copy text. That would be amazing.
That would be genius.
And then I saw a word processor and I was like, what is this sorcery? Standard issue calls that thing a golf ball. David Foster Wallace would use a typewriter if he was still alive, and he and all that. Is that a thing? Was David Foster Wallace a huge typewriter guy?
Not that I know of, but.
I mean, Eric Backus asserts that he is, and I'll take him at his word.
Yeah, I believe Eric. Why not? He wants to be cool and old-fashioned. I feel like he's just being dramatic. He's like, this is my suicide note. I'm going to make it all.
There's a great line in Chris Nolan's Following where they break into our hero's own house to, like, spy on him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, look, he's got a typewriter. He's a writer. And the other guy says, no. If he was a writer, he'd have a computer. He wants people to think he's a writer.
Huh.
Don't blame me. Blame Chris Nolan.
I like that.
So, yeah, the issue here is I'm not rewarded for paying attention, so why should I pay attention?
Yeah.
Because we got the plot pretty early. Top 10 Trivia asks, what if the entire plot is placed in the past? The reason why it's not is he mentions his laptop lying nearby.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find that. That's a little detail that...
Because we were paying such good attention and reading out loud.
Yeah, I mean, just to prove it. There's a laptop right here. So it's the kind of thing that even though there is a laptop, which is pretty crucial data because it tells you what time period you're in, because otherwise you wouldn't know.
I just assume everything is modern day unless stated otherwise, too.
I mean, it's a short film,
yeah.
But and I know the typewriter's for aesthetic effect, but why intentionally bury a typewriter there? So, guys, you're the audience. Do you want me to do some more scripts, or do you want me to take sort of a rhythm break and go through our screenwriting and see what people are saying on there and give our immediate gut reaction to things?
Yeah, I mean, we could switch it up and do that. I'm into it.
Cool. Well, that is our next thing. I'm going to take a break here to not make this a 2-hour upload that people have to wait through. So we will be back in 2 minutes. And thank you for watching. We will be right back. Or if you're watching this online, we'll be back at the next time I upload.